Hi, you all. My name is Emily Burgess, and I am so incredibly excited about Diamonds in December. All of the videos that we've watched up to this point have been phenomenal. I remember December of 2017. It was my very first time to be a part of watching a series like this, and I walked away from that month with my leadership lid raised, learning so many new tricks and learning some wisdom and some things that people were doing that obviously had success as they were diamonds, as they were at the top of the company. And so being a sponge and taking all of that in and then getting into action was so huge for my business. And so I'm so incredibly excited for all of us to continue to grow. So I want to speak today about something that is extremely near and dear to my heart. I want to tell you a story. So years and years ago, there was a girl named Mary. She went to junior high and high school with me, and she had a really hard life, really hard. Lived like from trailer to trailer, was evicted from her home many times, a very dysfunctional family, drugs, prostitution, all sorts of things that were in her life from her family members.
I'm not sure I understand.
And so I was super involved in a ministry in my high school called Young Life. And I had a heart for Jesus. I had a heart for people, and I really cared about Mary. She was a good friend of mine. I didn't understand all of the junk that she went through in her home. And so I invited her to Young Life multiple times. And I honestly don't even remember it. But years and years later, about 20 years later, I got an email on Facebook from her husband, Mac. And he sent me a message and said, Emily, I want to thank you for inviting my wife to Young Life. That changed her life. By you inviting her to Young Life, she then got connected with a Young Life family in Alaska, and that family poured into her, showed her Jesus in a very real way. She moved to North Carolina to go to school. We met, we fell in love, and we got married. Well, the cool thing outside of all of that is that simple invitation, something that was kind of scary because she was cool. She was a cheerleader. She was, intimidating to me. I invited her many times and she finally said yes, but that invitation changed her life. And the cool thing in that is that now she is a top leader with Proverbs 31 Ministries. She is linked arms with Lisa Turkhurst, and they are pouring into millions and millions of people. She's married a gentleman named Mac Brock, who is a very well-known music artist, and he is also able to pour into millions and millions of people. And so you have no idea what your invitation could do to somebody or to the world. Like an invitation could change the world, that ripple effect. It's so beautiful. Tamara Holloway, she messaged me for 4 years inviting me to do Plexus. If she would have only messaged me once, I would not be here. My family would still be cutting corners. We would still be living paycheck to paycheck. It would be very, very challenging. But because Tamara believed in her products, she believed in the opportunity, she believed in me, she believed in Plexus, she continued to invite and invite, even if it was meaning me ignoring her for 18 months. Even if it meant her sending me samples on her own account and me throwing them in the trash. Even if it meant me finally saying, okay, I want to do it. And then her immediately responding and me not responding for 2 weeks. I put her through a roller coaster, but she believed so much in what she was doing and what she knew that she could offer me. She didn't stop. So that's what I'm going to share about today. Your invitation is important. Your follow-up is important. And I know that it is scary. I know that when we sit here, we think, I don't want to message people. I don't want to invite people to come and do this. I don't want to seem salesy. I don't want to seem slimy. So my response to that is, then don't. Don't. When I first started, I was really, really afraid of all of those things too. But then it started to become fun because I would visualize if I were to run into this person at a store, how would I speak to them? I would take different message examples I would see in corporate calls or power hours that I would be a part of with other leaders, like sharing with me their verbiage. I would take that and let that kind of be an example, inspiration for me, kind of to give me some confidence and courage to go and write my own. But then I would visualize I'm standing in front of this person. How would I speak to them? Because how Tamara Holloway writes is maybe not exactly how I would speak, but I could use that as a launching pad for what I would say. So what I started to do is I would just send them a message straight from my heart. And it wasn't a quick 1 or 2 sentence magic message that you could copy and paste and send to 500 people. I did not like that because I received stuff like that so much before I joined Plexus, and it was so impersonal. It was not, there wasn't a lot of heart. It was I want to get a sale, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted people to know that I cared about them and I believed in them the way that Tamara did for me. So what I have done is I've actually compiled a whole notebook of message examples, and I have it broken down here. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have it broken down just into different categories. And so what I would encourage you to do is start saving on your computer or on your phone in your notes section, just, a category. So here, new reach outs, opportunity heavy. And so as you're sending out messages or you're seeing messages in power hours or in your IPA challenges on your team pages that you really resonate with, copy that and put it into that category. So that way, when you're into your messaging, which you should be doing every day, 5 days a week at least, when you're doing your messaging, you have that inspiration. So it may not be something that you're copying and pasting, which I really hope that you don't do. Put heart into it. I remember Tamara would say to me, quality is way more effective than quantity. And so that kind of gave me a piece of I don't need to be sending a bazillion messages a day. I need to be sending heart messages. I need to be sending quality messages. So that was super helpful for me. I'm going to share with you guys just a few examples that I really like. So maybe this can be an inspiration for you, but I'm very passionate. It's important for us to invite people. It's important for us to follow up with people. It's important for us to let people know, hey, I would love for you to do this. I think you'd be amazing at this, because we get to be the ones that start building their belief for them before they even begin. So important. So here's an example that I have for a new reach out about the business, about the opportunity. And I'll be honest, these are my favorite. I tend to send these more than I do about product, because I feel like if you send just the product message first, I think it's kind of harder to get them connected with the opportunity. But if you send them the opportunity first, if they don't want the opportunity, you can still go down to the product. You may not be interested in the opportunity, but I know that you're going to love the product. So would you let me send you a sample? So here is an example of one that I sent to somebody a few years ago. Hey, sweet Sarah, it was so fun seeing you and meeting your husband at blank's wedding back in May. You are gorgeous and your photography talent is stunning. I hope that you love what you do and find much fulfillment in it. You've been on my heart for over 2 years now, but since we don't know each other well, I've hesitated to reach out. I respect you and I highly value your opinion. The last thing I want is for you to think I'm just another one of those girls asking you to buy something. But I have seen so many lives change drastically for the better over the past 4 years. And I believe to my core that you would do so well here. And I believe that you'd love the products too. You've got something very special about you, Sarah. You are vibrant, you are trusted, you are solid in your faith, which shines in everything you do. You are respected, you love deeply, you are driven, and you are adored by many. You are the type of person I would love to link arms with and do this together. Would you be open to hearing a little more of my story and seeing if this is something you'd be open to pursuing? So if you can see there, I made it all about her, because that's what I want. I don't want this to be about me. I don't want it to be I'm sure you've seen my post. Come and do this. I've got a contest to reach. So come and help me win my contest. Stop making it about me and make it about the other person. That's my experience from for 4 years, being able to say that. I've seen this for 4 years. Here's one that maybe if you're newer, you could say this. Hey girl, listen, I would say their name. Hey, Sarah Beth, girl, listen, I cannot get you out of my mind. You are one of the most respected, kind-hearted, faithful people I have ever met. And you are so determined and driven. I 1000% believe that you would be incredibly successful with this business, and I would love nothing more than to do this together. Would you be open to talking a little more about this and seeing if this is something you'd be interested in learning about? I'll give you one more. Let's do a follow-up, because follow-up is super important, as we all know. I really love to follow up after, like, if we've been in conversation and they've shared a little bit with me about their health goals, we've gotten to that point, so I know kind of what their pain point is. I really like to utilize testimonies as a way to kind of re-engage conversation. So here's one. Hey, Mia, I saw a really incredible testimonial from a gal that made me think of you and the health struggles you shared with me. Would you be open to me sending it your way? Super casual, but that's also showing like that person's a priority to you. You remember the things that they've shared with you, typically their struggles, right? And so I feel like that's really personal. Here's another one. Hey, Mia, anxiety and depression were some big health issues you had shared with me a few months ago when you were asking about the Plexus supplements. I know that the timing wasn't right then, but corporate just issued a huge discount that expires in a few days. Is this something you'd like to consider trying out? So personalizing it, you guys. These are people. These are not just numbers. You want to have relationships with people. You want to add value to people, because that's where connection begins. Connection will then result in retention. And oftentimes when they're on the products and they're seeing these stories, these testimonials of financial blessings, oftentimes that morphs into people wanting to start sharing. If you're curious where I did this, like I said, I just saved a ton of message examples that I've grown to love, that I've used, that I've felt good about, that I've seen shared with me. And then I literally just went to UPS and had them print this off in a little spiral bound, and it was like $10. So prioritize your business. Send invitations. You have no idea whose life you can change through this invitation. And also remember, if you don't want to be salesy and slimy, don't be. Tell people like why they're on your heart. Tell people why you are messaging them. This is us helping people, us helping find a solution to people's problems, and having joy and belief and passion in what we're doing. If you don't have that, people are gonna sense that, and they're not gonna want to go with you. So send out heartfelt messages, you guys. Thanks. Oh, my challenge. I want you to start gathering some message examples, and I want you to send out 3 messages today to people, telling them why they're on your heart, following up with them, utilizing testimonials. I want you to send 3 messages and put in the comments once you've done so. Bye, y'all.